There are over 4.5 million different podcasts available across the various hosting platforms, culminating in an estimated 75 million podcast episodes. To give you an idea of what we're competing against between song uploads and podcast uploads, Spotify alone receives 60,000 uploads per day. So how can we make our podcast stand out in the crowd? Well, of course, besides the actual content and effective marketing, a big part of how I decide on a podcast is the way that it sounds. Personally, I will switch off from a podcast within seconds if the audio is not good quality. Now, the question is, how many of your listeners are doing the same? If you're worried this might be you, fear not, because in this video, I'm going to guide you through some very easy and simple processes to help you get the best result with the tools that you already have. Hi, I'm Ed from edthorn.com, here to help you make the most out of your home studios. Become a member of my website for free to gain access to my free podcast gear guide, which covers budgets from as little as $200. Now, whether you're recording your podcast remotely like I do, online, or in person, the following tips will help with both scenarios. Okay, let's start with your recording environment, the room you're recording your podcast in. If you're in a troublesome room with bare walls causing reflections and reverberations, or noisy environments, perhaps with a road nearby, kids in the house, or a drummer next door, your microphone will pick up this information and record this with your podcast audio. Fortunately, there are numerous ways to combat this. Your choice of microphone will play a big part in this, but before we discuss that, let's see what we can do in our recording room to minimize these problems. Soft furnishings such as pillows, blankets, and furry pets can help absorb sound and minimize unwanted reflections. Drawing the curtains closed will cover the reflective window surfaces. Placing a duvet behind your recording setup in between yourself and the wall will help. Or if you're sitting at a desk, a pillow behind your microphone and in between your computer can also help. At university, I used to line the inside of a wardrobe with a duvet to create a vocal booth, and it worked really well. Turning noisy air conditioning units or fans off will help reduce background hum. Closing windows and doors between areas of the house will of course also help. Recording in a carpeted room will definitely help, or purchasing a rug to put underneath your desk is another solution. Facing a bookshelf full of books can help disperse the sound before they become a problem. So basically anything that absorbs sound and minimizes reflections will help. And no, egg boxes are useless. This is a myth. Now, if your room still needs help beyond this, there are many companies that produce acoustic absorption tiles disguised as artwork that can look really cool. Alright, once we've helped ourselves as much as possible with the room acoustics, the choice of microphone can also have a huge effect on your podcast audio. Now, please don't use your laptop speakers or phone to record audio. This simply isn't going to produce a professional sound. We all know the saying, you can't polish a TURD, and this definitely applies to audio, so we need to make the audio as good as possible at the source. It's also going to be tempting to buy a cheap $50 USB microphone from Amazon with the great marketing, etc. But guess what? You're going to get what you pay for, and trust me, when microphones can go up to tens of thousands of dollars, $50 is unrealistically cheap. Other microphones off Amazon are likely to be what we call condenser microphones that are typically quite sensitive and will capture more of the ambient sound and therefore the problems around you we've just discussed. An alternative is to buy a dynamic microphone such as the Shure SM58 or the famous Shure SM7B you've seen in Joe Rogan's podcast streams. These are designed to be more directional and pick up only what's in close proximity to them, i.e. your voice. Now, there are good condenser microphones out there, such as this LEWITT 440 Pure. So if you have a more acoustically sound room, a quiet room with lots of soft furnishings or acoustic treatment, such as my studio here, a condenser microphone like this can sound great. Arguably, either type of microphone can sound better for your voice. It is a case of trying them out. There is no right or wrong answer here, but these room acoustic differences may influence your purchasing decision. Now, you'll notice throughout the video I'm going between both types of microphones to give you a really good idea of how they both sound. Let me know which one you prefer in the comments below. All right, microphone change. So, depending on which microphone you have, how you use it will affect your audio. For a dynamic microphone such as this one, you want to be as close to the grill as possible. For a condenser mic, you want to be about 6 to 9 inches away. It's about a handspan. Too close to the condenser microphone and you get a low-end, heavy, boomy sound. Too far away and you'll get a thin, weak sound. This is called the proximity effect. You may also be experiencing plosives, which are our puh and buh sounds. Now these can be reduced using a microphone pop filter, such as this one, or an external clip-on pop filter, such as this one, that you place in front of the capsule like that. This LEWITT 440 pure microphone comes with 2 pop filters, a metal grill that magnetically sticks onto the microphone cradle, and a foam wind sock as well, and they fit on really easily. And hopefully you'll hear an immediate difference. These will catch the sharp puffs of breath that can put strain on a microphone capsule and cause it to overload, which creates popping sounds. I've placed a link in the description below to this and all the other products in this video for your convenience. And of course, try and be as consistent with your position in front of the microphone as possible. If you end up speaking to the side or above or really close or far away, there's going to be a change in the texture of your voice. So try and be as consistent as you can. In subsequent videos, I'll show you how best to process your audio using some very simple techniques. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when those videos come out. As I've strongly recommended you don't record using a USB microphone, we will need an audio interface. This will convert your analog audio, i.e. your voice, into a digital signal your computer can understand. An audio interface will do this much better than a USB microphone. Now these can range in price from $50 up to thousands of dollars, but the good news is you can use a cheap one here. I have a full video on the way outlining my ideal vocal chain for 3 different budgets, but for now I can highly recommend the Evo 4 by Audient for one very special reason we're about to discuss. The level at which you record your microphone is very important. To change the level of the input signal, we adjust what is called the gain on our input channel. You can think of this as a volume dial. Dynamic microphones typically need lots of gain, and condenser microphones much less because they are already more sensitive. This is also, again, where the mic positioning is important. If you're close to the microphone, you won't need as much gain, but if you're far away, you'll need a lot more gain, which will, of course, cause your mic to pick up even more of the room reflections and background noise problems. Some popular interfaces have an input indicator to inform you how strong your audio signal is. For example, the FOCUSRITE Scarlett has a halo system. This changes color the louder your input gets. As long as we avoid the red here, we should be okay. Now this is a good option. However, the Evo 4 has a feature called Smart Gain, which automatically adjusts your input gain for you. All you have to do is press the green auto gain button and speak normally for 20 seconds, and Evo will set your input gain for you. This is unbelievable and it genuinely works really well. Not to mention it will save you loads of time, and if you're not sure you've got the gain levels right, there's simply no getting it wrong with Smart Gain. Now, if you're not already using a designated recording or music production software, I strongly suggest you find one so you have maximum control over your audio. There are loads available, but I suggest these because they're free and very good. GarageBand on Mac is easy to navigate and simple to use, or Cakewalk by BandLab for PC. Personally, I use Logic Pro X, which is a professional software because I produce and record music as well as podcasting. Now, all of these softwares include processing plugins for refining your audio, but more on this in a subsequent episode. And finally, of course, to hear your co-host and yourself without causing a feedback loop, we will need a set of headphones. I have to admit, your Apple AirPods or cheap in-ear monitors are sufficient here. Basically, anything that isolates the sounds to your ears and from escaping will work. If you find your microphone does pick up sound from your headphones, you can try a set of closed-back headphones. I highly recommend the Austrian Audio Hi X15s. I got a full review of these here. Alright guys, hopefully that's given you plenty of ways to improve your podcast audio. Please feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below. Subscribe for part 2 where I'll show you how to process your audio for maximum sound quality. Become a member of my website, edthorn.com, for free access to my podcast gear buying guide. Links in the description below. I've been Ed Thorn. Thanks for watching. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you on the next one.